Hello and welcome to Breakfast All Day. I'm Matt, online over Zoom with Christy and Alonso. There is a movie that none of us liked, but we are gleefully going to tell you about it. Oh, we're so excited. I'm so excited to talk about this, especially because when part of a title describes the movie perfectly. Love, Wedding, and Other Disasters.
Yes. And last week we talked about superintelligence. And I thought that was going to be the worst movie of the year. But no.
Never
hold
jump
my
on
beer.
That one.
Because here comes Love, Weddings, and Other Disasters. More terrifying than a Ben Falcone film, a Dennis Dugan film, the four most terrifying words you will hear all week. So Dennis Dugan, of course, is best known for doing a vast majority of Adam Sandler's movies, you know, all his adolescent oeuvre in films like Happy Madison and
Now pronounce you Chuck and Larry,
and
Jack
Zohan, Jack and Jill, both grown-ups movies.
Yes.
This movie is woefully missing Adam Sandler's influence.
I never thought I would miss that brand of Adam Sandler comedy, but I totally do. So this isn't even a movie. This is like this slapdash hodgepodge of
it's Love American style.
People, it is, but Love American style had cohesion. It had some thematic cohesion. This has no rhyme or reason to it whatsoever. So it's a bunch of different interlocking stories that take place in Boston over the course of who knows how long. Time is a flat circle in the Dennis Dugan universe. And among the stories are Maggie Grace is a wedding planner who is very new at this, but her primary character trait is bumping into things and falling over things. A lot of characters have that problem. The first time we see her, she's parachuting out of a plane with her boyfriend and he's screaming at her the whole way down. And then she lands in the middle of this wedding, this lakeside wedding, and becomes known as the wedding trasher in this viral video. There's also King Batch, the internet star King Batch, Andrew Bachelor, is a duck boat tour guide who supposedly is hilarious and charismatic, but has like the hackiest, stupidest jokes. He falls for a passenger who happens to have a Cinderella glass slipper tattooed on her neck. And he then goes on this wild pursuit of her all over town with the help of a local TV news reporter. This is not how journalism works. What else? There's also this what supposedly is the best bar band in Boston. This incredibly cheesy duo, one of whom is Jesse McCartney. My favorite bit in the bar band scene, did you guys notice this? The lack of continuity in where his mic was. So from one angle, the mic's up here, and then like they cut away to a side angle and it's down by his chest. This movie, it looks like shit. It's lighted horribly. Everyone's hair looks bad. But the most depressing one of all these subplots involves Diane Keaton and Jeremy Irons.
Wait.
What?
As we're talking about the craft that's bad, we have to talk about the makeup on the guy that's not Jesse McCartney.
Diego Boneta.
Diego Boneta, yeah.
Holy shit, that makeup was amazing. He looked like a clown. And it was like Donald Trump did his makeup. That's how orange he looked.
He's in a really great Mexican film called New Order that's opening soon. So I said in my review, he has the honor of being in one of the best and one of the worst films of 2020.
It's crazy. And the band is so bad. They sing these like really insipid bro rock songs and the crowd's all like, woo! But the worst of all is Jeremy Irons and Diane Keaton. And he is a persnickety and famous caterer. She is blind and they get set up on a blind date because she's blind. Get it? But she dresses like Diane Keaton. So she wears like the slacks and the button downs and the little hats, but she has this seeing eye dog. And apparently they don't know each other very well because they keep bumping into things. So over and over again, you have her tripping over furniture. So like the first time that she and Jeremy Irons meet, there's this table full of champagne glasses that are all stacked up into a pyramid because that's like the height of classy in this movie.
Oh yeah.
And you know, the second you see it, that she's going to come like walking in and like stumbling over it. It's all going to break. It would be so offensive if it weren't so stupid. Yeah. And so this movie was so inconsequential. It'd be so offensive. Oh, and then I forgot about the game show that Dennis Dugan himself hosts, which looks like crap. It looks like some cable access show.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be like a hot show on TBS.
And the contestants are changing each other all the time.
how angry is Dennis Dugan in those scenes?
And he's like sexist and like swilling champagne. Like nothing about this movie makes sense. And it cuts between these storylines in the most erratic way. There is no rhythm to it. There is no cohesion. I don't know why it exists. And then of course, as is the case with all these films, like the storylines are all supposed to converge at this big wedding at the end. It's supposed to be hilarious. But that is really cringy too. This makes Gary Marshall's holiday trilogy, his Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, look like Krzysztof Kieslowski's Tricolor.
Yeah, totally. No. I said in my review, he's clearly angling to like take over the awful late period Gary Marshall movies, and if you know, if Valentine's Day makes Love Actually seem like Nashville, then this movie makes Valentine's Day seem like the shop around the corner. You know,
I don't understand why this exists.
What's frustrating here too is that if he is trying to be the next Gary Marshall, late period Gary Marshall, he's missed the thing that even the bad Gary Marshall stuff, like those stories still care for their characters, and this one doesn't. This movie does not. And I had this long talk with my son yesterday about whether or not it was funny that Diane Keaton, being blind, walks into the table. And I was like, no, that's only funny if she's awful. It's only funny if you want to see that character fail, but there's nothing in that.
Or if we care about her enough, that's a moment where we feel something when it happens, but it's the first time she appears in the film.
I meant the one in the apartment.
Oh, when she trips over her own furniture.
Yeah, Jeremy Irons. Okay, he's supposed to be super Mr. Detail oriented. So forget about his idea of classy is a pyramid of champagne glasses and Ferrero Rocher candies. But Mr. Detail oriented thinks it's a good idea to leave a note to a blind woman and then rearrange her furniture. And it's like, what?
Why?
If this were funny, I wouldn't worry about the logic, and if it were logical, it wouldn't be such a big deal that it wasn't funny. But it's nothing. This whole movie is nothing.
What's particularly frustrating, and I guess this is a good exercise to see what happens where you have talented actors taking terrible material, and you could just see their charisma, right? Like, even though the lines that he's given are so bad, Jeremy Irons is charming in this. Right? Like when he wants to be charming, when he's being flirty, it's like, oh yeah, I think he is. Like, I would put the two of them together, put him
in a real movie,
movie, and that could be really fun, right?
Yes.
Andrew Bachelor can sell comedy, and the jokes are terrible, and his whole storyline is fucking awful. But I mean, everybody's storyline is awful, but yeah, you know what? I'll watch him in another movie.
He's very likable.
I think my least favorite storyline is the two people from the game show who have to be chained together. And she says she's a lawyer, but she's actually a stripper. And she has like this Russian gangster pimp. And it's just like, none of this is funny, Dennis Dugan. What are you even doing?
Right. And when the guy when he's like, I owe money to the mob too. And it's like, what?
You're the prospective mayor's brother. How is that not more of a plot line? Like in the press notes, Dennis Dugan talks about like, oh, my wife loves rom-com, so I thought I'd make one. It's like, you have no idea what you're doing. None. Zero.
There are press notes and you read them?
I was looking up a character name when I was writing the review.
Does it say where the movie was actually filmed?
Yeah, Boston has never looked worse in a film. Like Frederick Wiseman's City Hall is a better love letter to Boston than this piece of shit.
And then there's a whole thing where Elle King functions as like a Greek chorus, like busking in Boston Common and playing the guitar, and her songs are like painfully on the nose, like commenting on what's happening.
This movie has nothing to say about love. Like characters keep talking about love, but they don't draw any conclusions, and they have no insight and no information and nothing. This movie has nothing.
Yeah,
I don't know why. Like, why did Jeremy Irons and Diane Keaton say yes to this? Like, first of all, you see the words Dennis Dugan, he's directing. No, but no one needs money that badly, Matt. No, really, seriously.
Diane Keaton makes a lot a movies. Like, she's got a lot of knickknacks to buy.
Listen,
there's a lot of
hang on.
Pantsuits because she look at her filmography. It's embarrassing. In the last decade or so, Mad Money, Because I Said So. Like, she's made a lot of shit movies. So clearly,
so has Jeremy Irons.
Yeah,
let's be honest. Jeremy Irons' filmography looks like he's
Dungeons and Dragons.
Right. He looks like in some of his choices, he looks like, well, I need to outdo Michael Caine. Like,
if you meet their quote, they will show up, even for
There's a
fucking Dennis
scene-
Dugan.
Right. There's a scene where they're sitting under a tree together having a picnic in Boston Common. And like, it gives me this glimmer of like, I would love to see the two of these people in a movie with a brain and a heart. But then like this shitty, like tinkly acoustic guitar comes in and like ruins it. And there's some dumb blind joke. Anyway, I'm saying 0. It's funny. I was pondering, like, do we do a worst of list this year? Like, this year has been so bad. Do we pile on more and do a worst of? Okay.
I wasn't sure I was going to, but then I saw this movie and I was like, oh, we're doing it.
I haven't 0.
I haven't given a 0 since the Emoji Movie. This is a 0.
This is 0. Yeah.
Like there's I'm not going to completely go with a 0. I'm going to jank the score up because, you know, there is a little bit of charm from the leads and the movie gets a teeny bit of credit for that. So I'm going to give it I'm going to change my number that I'll give it a half a point.
A half a point. Okay. So
what's 0.2?
0.5 divided by 3.
It's a 0.2 from us.
Yikes. This is currently at 5% on the tomato meter. There is
someone likes it?
A person.
Oh, wow. I did not see that coming.
I bet I know who it is.
Goose egg all the way.
It might not be who you think it is. We could talk about it afterward. So don't see this, you guys, or do see it to hate watch it and just marvel at like how much shitty filmmaking is on display in one place.
You know, it is that kind of thing where you come to appreciate what works in other movies when you see its complete absence in another movie. So don't bother. All right. Thanks for watching. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us at BeFastAllDay on on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. TV recaps, exclusive classics reviews, all kinds of things that only our subscribers get. So become one, won't you? Thanks for watching. Bye.